Hey everybody, I'm Rabbi Chernitsky, the People's Rabbi, the Rector of Chabad of Newfoundland. Pleasure to be with you again tonight. We're continuing. Oh, I didn't do the share screen here, and then I can do it later. Oh well. We are continuing with the Jewish wealth secret. This is class 5, learning all about Tzedaka, poorly translated as charity. If you listen to the first class, you'll find out why that's a poor translation. And we're going to get right back into the text. We're in the middle of a talk of a dissertation by the Lubavitcher Rebbe about what's so special about the half shekel. Jews had a mitzvah to give half shekel, and we asked what's so special about the half shekel. It's already a mitzvah of tzedakah. There's already a concept of tzedakah even before the Torah was given. Excuse me. And what we had answered in short was that the half shekel, which God showed Moses, was a coin of fire, which represents that you have to give with a fiery excitement. And we spoke about giving it with a pure intent, and how there's a dichotomy between the coin and fire, because the coin is physical and the fire you cannot touch, and the fire raises up and wants to become one with its with the all-encompassing element of fire. So let's continue. I'm going to open up the PDF here. We are by Seif Hey, subsection 5. Okay, so I'm going to read and translate as usual. And giving away of fire, which is beyond all shapes and limitations. So we could say that this is the novelty of giving an atonement for tzedakah with a coin of fire. Just like a fire has no shape, and it's always drawn to go higher than it, wants to leave its form of independent existence, lose its independence, and become one with the all-encompassing element of fire, thereby losing its independent existence. So too, by giving tzedakah, in the highest way. They're giving a tzedakah without a shape, without a form, without a limit. Im eish v'izlavus lo bigdal teva midas. Give with a fire, give with an excitement, not because it comes natural. Lo rak bigdal tavedas, and even because it makes sense in your head. Lo rak bigdal schar, and not just to get a reward. Afilo schar ruchni, even if it's a spiritual reward, not for the spiritual reward that you get from God. Lo rak noisav le'teiva shekavalas oil kam ratzon Hashem, and not even because naturally you accept the heavenly yoke and you want to do what God wants. Not for that. As we finish off the last class, not for any reason at all whatsoever. But you do it simply. Now, way of this a coin. What coin? A coin of fire. That's beyond all shape and limitations. But on the other hand, giving tzedakah away of fire, higher than form, it's a coin of fire. That permeates his whole being. And it doesn't ascend above in a goldy fire, right? Because it is a coin, it is physical. So you don't lose your independent existence. You're very much in this world. You're given the tzedakah, but in a way of fire, right? It's a spiritual thing, but it permeates your reality, your consciousness, your being. The point that it becomes your shape, becomes your nature. Because the word matbea in Hebrew, which means a coin, also has in it the word teva, same root as the word teva, which means nature. Yeah. So the fire aspect of the half shekel becomes your nature. And as we said, the coin also has a weight. That we say naturally something that's heavy is drawn to the ground. We call it gravity. But here the concept is that it's drawn to like the material world, has a connection, a pull to the material world. So this means here, not by negating your existence, not by doing things that weaken your body. We don't do that. But this becomes your nature. You don't have to force yourself, you don't have to break yourself, this becomes who you are. But at the same time, you have the other side of the coin, pun intended. It's a coin of fire. So you're not doing it because you're feeling that you feel that this comes natural, and that's where you're giving tzedakah, that's where you're helping someone. Like it says in the Talmud about one of the great rabbis that once he came to the Moedim part of the Amidah, on his own he bowed down. He didn't have to make a conscious decision to bow. He was so nullified to God. He was so in tune with the words of the prayers that when he came to a part, automatically he bowed. He didn't have to make a conscious decision, which is exactly what we discussed before. Just to give that tzedakah, to give the money, to help someone for no reason whatsoever, not even for the reason that you don't want to do it for a reason, not just even to do God's will, just do it because you have become one with the concept. As we're saying now, it's a matbeya. Matbeya means coin, which comes to the word teva, nature, that it became your nature. Bliss beinus behergesh, it didn't require any contemplation and a feeling. Ki hamatbeya, yeah, shaloi, because your coin, which means tiva b'ritzurasoi, your nature and your particular shape and vicissitude, no, I'm sorry, idiosyncrasies is the word. He shaleish, it's one of fire. You've adopted the nature of fire. Shalemaila mitzura, that's beyond shape. And you do it automatically on your own, without meditation, without contemplation. The two opposite at once. As we said again in the last class, it's a coin, it's physical, you could feel it, it has a weight to it, but yet it's a coin of fire. Fire is more spiritual, you can't actually touch the fire, same way you could touch a coin. The fire wants to ascend up, a lucid sense of independent existence. So this is why you have the two opposite at once. This is the novelty of the half shekel. Okay? And to add, what's the weight of this coin? It's a half shekel, not a full shekel, but a half. Davka lo shekel shalom, specifically a half, not a full one. Because he's giving tzedakah, and bringing it low, because the coin has a weight, and weight pulls it down. Has to be in such a way that it's only like a half. Which will make sure that it will be complete fire. In other words, you have the spiritual aspect to it. Without any ulterior motive, without any limiting shape. Yeah. In other words, it's more than just saying, don't think about yourself, you're only a half. Deeper than that. Have no shape whatsoever. Have no ulterior motive. Just do it and become one with the right reason to do it, so it comes automatic. It comes easy without effort. But at the same time, you're always drawn upwards. Like a my shekel shalim, not like a full shekel which is heavy. The full shekel has a certain sense of completeness, wholesomeness. Shekol shleimus hi gam bakbolo. Yet every wholesomeness presents a limitation. When you compare it to a wholesomeness that's beyond any limitation. Okay, think about this. What's more complete? Okay, and I'm speaking to you, David. What's more complete? A canvas that's empty, or a canvas that has every color in it and it has a beautiful picture in it? What's more full? A person would simply answer, the one that's more full is the one that has all the colors. But that's wrong. The one that's white, that's completely empty, is really more full. It has the most potential. It has no limitations. The one that's full already adopted this shape. It has this all these colors and in this form and in this shape. But when it's an empty canvas, it could take on any shape. So the empty canvas, even though on the at first sight it's not complete, it's not wholesome. In potential, it's even more wholesome than the one that's full. Think about that. Okay, we'll come back later if you need. But the point is that why is it specifically a half shekel and a full shekel? Not just to say, oh, you're never complete, which is one of the lessons of the half shekel. We're all half. We need God. God is the other half. We become one, which is a beautiful teaching. But here we're saying something else. That's a half shekel to say that your giving should be in a complete way. Your giving should be without any ulterior motive. Okay. Let's do the next subsection that we'll stop. Yeah, let's do it quickly and we'll stop. So about Pisa, based on this, now we're closing up how we started, okay? We had started the first class on this talk 2 classes ago, class number 3. We started with a question, what's so special about the mitzvah of a half shekel? Now we're closing up. A piece of movement, now we understand the answer of God to Moses. That by giving the koifel tzedaka, the half shekel, which is an atonement for tzedaka, this will lift up the glory of the Jewish people, higher than the heads of the Jewish people. And even higher than the ascent, the elevation they had at the time of the giving of the Torah. Because the giving of tzedakah in a way of like a fiery coin creates a novelty, a sense of novelty in the service of God of the Jew over what he had before. It's even greater than at the time of the giving of the Torah. Because as far as Matan Torah itself is concerned, serving God, studying Torah, keeping the mitzvot, commandments, could be with a calculation and a reason and intellect mixed in it. Including it could be that you made a decision, a calculation that you want to do it with a full acceptance of the heavenly yoke. As the Jews said, we will do and we will listen. You want the Torah, God says? They said, yes, we don't know what it says, but we'll do whatever it is, and then we'll figure out exactly what we signed for. Hakashur Matziur, right? Masha'enkem, which is not the case of we're speaking about here the service of God in a way of fire. Moide represents, teaches, you say, because of it's not because of an intellectual reason, or as part of the nature of the way God created the world, and not even because we want to accept and do the heavenly will. There's a way it's higher than all shape. There's a and this permeates your whole shape, in other words, your whole being, like the coin, which comes from the word teva, nature. So the fire permeates your nature. Okay, it's basically what we were saying until now. Only now we're plugging it in and explaining how this is greater than regular game of tzedakah. And we say that this is giving with a fiery excitement, giving without a shape, giving without limit, just like the fire, but it became our nature, which is the aspect of the coin. Which is why this half shekel, which seemingly is redundant, and same as the mitzvah tzedakah, that's why it accomplishes something new in the service of the Jewish people. Gam Shel Roshoi Shel Yehuda, even on the head of the Jew, the highest part. Kipeshahayu ad as they were until then, like they were until then. Shekol ha'inyanim shelahem nisalim, because everything that they have to do with is uplifted. Tisa, like it says in the Torah. The darga naglis here, so it's a little bit of a higher level. Kaviyachal, so to speak. Because really you can't even say here going up from one level to the next, from strength to strength. Because once you give it a title, that's already a shape, which is already a limit. And who will speak of doing something without a limit? Okay. Such that their service of God, the service of God with all the Torah mitzvot given at Matan Torah, the giving of the Torah. Nice is bedugma l'nesil tzedaka b'teveshalish. It's like the giving of tzedaka of the coin of fire. Tzedaka shkula k'nekol mitzvahs, because tzedaka is like all the mitzvahs put together. The ikar mitzvahs and maisis, and is the main of the mitzvot that have to do with action. Pianali shayisiv atam shinu the trum kenen Yisrael, tan kenen Yisrael, mizbat tzedaka b'mitzvahs tzedaka. And basically, we said above, we could add the reason why the uplifting of the glory of the Jewish people is specifically through the mitzvah tzedakah. Tzedakah b'ta'arasa, because tzedakah in its purest sense, nikre she'ein lo shum hergesh siva v'chiyuv. Tzedakah in the purest sense means the person has no feeling for it, has no reason, and no sense of obligation. Mitzvah teva esechel, whether it's again because of our nature, because it makes sense to intellectually, v'leish loymar afilu loy mitzvah hergesh shemechuya b'sem mitzvah tiva v'teira, and not even because you feel that the Torah is obligating you. Because again, if you give for any reason, then it's not pure tzedakah. That's already because of your sense of obligation. And it starts in tzedakah, but then this has an effect on your overall service of God. In all the commandments, the mitzvahs, all the mitzvahs are fulfilled in this way of tzedakah done in its purest sense. Until this is also extended and affect a person's service in things that don't have to do with Torah mitzvot. Divrei reshus, reshus means literally optional. Like when you're playing tennis, when you're driving in the car, and also in the worldly things. I'm gonna say it later on. So I'm gonna stop here for today. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm definitely enjoying it. So this is class number 5. I'm Rabbi Cherninsky, director of Chabad of Newfoundland. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can leave us a comment here. If for some reason the recording sounds grainy to you, you could search for this class on YouTube or LinkedIn. And for some reason the sound recording there seems to be better, you could always send us an email, rabbinewfoundland@gmail.com. Check out, of course, our website, rabbinewfoundland.com. Next Sunday night, this Sunday night, January the 30th, 8 p.m. Newfoundland time, we'll be having on our Facebook Live Rabbi Mainly Sternbach from Chabad of Lagos, Nigeria, telling us about Jewish life over there and sharing some anecdotes. I understand he's very, very funny. Something you don't want to miss. It's a free event. Please join. And thank you for joining this wonderful live. Have a good evening and stay safe.